And so first and foremost, register to vote, but more importantly, update and check your registration. We have seen in not only this election cycle, but election cycles in the past that there are often purges that happen or removing voters from rolls. And everyone wants clean rolls. That's not something that we dispute, but it has to be done in a legal way. And there are rules for how that can be done. The National Voter Registration Act is one example of that. But if you move or you change your name, it's important to just make sure that you are still on the rolls and that you're not in a state where if you don't register by a certain time, you cannot vote because there's no way to cure that or fix it in some states. Um, Learning about early and mail-in voting opportunities in your state. This week alone, so many states, I think it was like a dozen states who had early voting that started. We saw in Georgia, there were 300,000 people who showed up on Tuesday, on the first day, which was like insane. I was also talking to some of our local league members in North Carolina, and in past times they could vote within maybe 10 or 15 minutes. They're waiting in line for more than an hour to vote. And it's not because things are slow, it's because there's so many more people turning out during the early voting part of this election cycle. And if you're eligible to vote by mail in your state, you can request a ballot. I live in Maryland. I requested my ballot and you can turn it in at any location in the state during the early voting period. And so the other thing that people can do, last but not least, is check Vote 411 to find your polling locations. Sometimes on election day, polling locations change or they close. Obviously, with the hurricane, we have seen a lot of changes happening because some locations just are no longer level. They have been caught up in the hurricane. And so checking Vote 411 will provide up-to-date information in terms of where you can vote, where your polling location may have moved, how to get your ballot if you have moved or if your house is not in a position to accept mail, and all of those things.